Nice to see you again. Let's bring up the chat. Let's see. Yeah, good evening or whichever time you have. Good afternoon, perhaps. Let's see. Okay, we have some new users. Give me a moment. I'll just try to add a new people who are trying to enter here. Let's see who is knocking on the door. Ellery Zhang, add to room. Avery Yu, add to room. Jack, 4557, add to room. Anyone else? Yeah. Oh, private chat. Sorry, my mistake. Yeah, I'll make it public. Yeah, yeah. Nice to see everyone again. Yeah. Okay, we have Rohan. Okay, Rohan, welcome. If there is anyone else, I can only send message. Don't worry, heuristic mind. I just switched it to public, so now everyone can see everyone's messages. But yeah, don't abuse of this. Don't send too many messages. Oh, more users. Oh, sketches. Okay. Yeah, so many new students. Great. Let's see. This was from last time. Yeah, who remembers what White should play here? Let's check your memory. Don't send a solution, please. I will quiz you right now for the solution just to see if you remember what we looked at last time. All right, you get only 30 seconds. I remember it was Greg Shahadi who mentioned this topic also. You forgot. Oh, really? Wyatt. That's too soon, I think. Smart golf. Oh, everybody wants to play like that. Interesting. I hope I didn't mess it up here. We'll see. Anyone plays like me? Titan chess. Yeah, you're basically saying what I was thinking. Okay, we have a few people who I think got it right. John Sam and RKDK. Um, Let me know if I'll bring up here John Sam, please. John Sam, please go ahead. How should White continue here? Very surprising move. That was the topic of last time. What did we talk about last time, by the way? Um, Anyone remembers this? What was the tactics helping strategy? Was it bad timing? Tactical Tactical details. Yeah, exactly. We use tactical details in order to achieve strategical goals, you could say. So in this way, we're able to fight on the e file before black is able to um, consolidate, right? If we play the more natural rook e5, black will play queen d7, and they will put the bishop on e6. Let's say, yeah, what would white play? I think you can't play this. Well, you can play it, but I play simply f6 here, right? Is this correct? Yeah, exactly. Heuristic mind. Use tactics to attain strategic goals. Yeah, that's a great way to put it. I think this is the problem, right? It's not fully working, this tactical idea. So, what John Sam is saying, that's what was played in the game by Walter Brown. Rook A1 is still better. Oh, I see. Titan is saying that we could play Rook E1 here. Can you really do that? Can't I just take? Oh, you take back. I play Bishop E6. Does this really work? Titan, it works, maybe. Or what? Oh, you take with a knight on e5 instead. All right. Yeah, it doesn't seem clear to me, but you might be right in that. Yeah, maybe. Long story, no? Can I take and you take and I take back? Looks a little shaky for black, right? Looks a little shaky, but maybe there is nothing concrete. I don't know. It's a tough line to calculate. If we take and you take and I take back, white is winning perhaps somehow, right? Rook e5 or something. D5. Yeah, that looks like a killing move. Yeah, I think we can't play like that. Did I mess up something here after Rook e5? This I'm pretty sure is the only move. Bishop g5. I had Bishop e6 also. Maybe that's safer to play Bishop e6. Maybe that's what I should play. No, or it's too passive. Yeah, maybe. White is probably better still. Okay, new user. Cooked mutton. All right, cooked mutton. Funny handle. D5 now. Yeah, what happens after D5 now? I guess I'll have to take back. You want to play some move like 94? Something like that? It wouldn't surprise me if white is better here. But what he played in the game, oh, bishop takes a 95. Yeah, if you take, I was going to take back. I was just going to castle away. I was saying that maybe this pawn falls off, but it's not the end of the world, right? I could play something like this maybe, and if you take, I take back. And yeah, black should hold here, I think. Such structures, it's great that the minor pieces are not around. Yeah, hi, little chess player. Nice to see you again. Anyway, we should come back to John Sam, who was about to show us. So please go ahead, John Sam. Let's do it again. Which was the tactical detail here? Exactly. Very surprising move. Black cannot castle away because it's hanging on e7. If they play now pawn takes, no zoom or video. No zoom or video. I don't follow. Who is? I'm moving the pieces. No, it's now John Sam who's moving the pieces. By the way, yeah, John Sam is moving the pieces. Rook e5, and since we have opened the a1 h8 diagonal, this means that we have additional tactical possibilities. Now comes the key move here, d5, and as you can see, after pawn takes, rook takes, black's in big trouble here. So yeah, I think that's pretty convincing. No, John Sam and RKDK found this very nice idea with bishop h6. That's what we looked at some time ago. There were many other moves here. Yeah, no problem, Sarthak. Nice to see you again. There are many other ideas that you brought up here, but this is probably the best one. So I think we will turn the tables here. We will turn the next page, so to speak. I have a new topic. I thought we should do some opening stuff. This one, in any case, please remember, no, these kind of moves. Very important to not to limit ourselves to the most obvious moves like rook e5. Anyone would say rook e5 is the best move here. It looks very natural to double up on the e file with tempo and so on. But tactical details are present here. Bishop h6 is a very nice idea, which I think Brown had prepared at home. I'm suspecting that he didn't actually find this at the board. He prepared it. He was very well prepared, Grandmaster Walter Brown. Couldn't we play rook e5 and only then bishop h6, says heuristic mind? All right, we will have to check that. I think the big difference here is that I have the bishop protected, right? So black would simply play. Anyone? That's right, Gordon. We will just castle here. And I think magic, they don't work here for white. Something like d5, no tactics here. I could even play something like this if I like. I could probably also take on h6, so this doesn't work really. Bishop f6, all right. Okay, more users. Al Morris. I'll have to talk with Greg. There are so many new users. I hope they're all entitled to join us. Yeah. Anyway, so that's what we looked at last time. Please remember, chess is a difficult game. Moves like bishop h6 should also be taken into account. It won't happen very often, what we're seeing here, but it might come up now. So don't restrict yourselves. Don't limit yourselves to the most obvious move, please. Okay, we will start with a new topic, which I'm calling opening disasters. When things, exactly, Sartak, when things go utterly wrong in the opening. It has happened to me also. This is nothing personal against the players involved. It's simply a way in which we can learn from mistakes in the opening, how they can be exploited, and also we can learn which are those mistakes not to commit them in our own game. So I'll start with this game. I'm picking some games which I'm pretty sure you have not seen before. This is from a recent open tournament in Germany. I'm not so familiar with the player with white, Lerch, but I know the black player, Dudin, I think is a international master from Russia. Oh, Mickey Mouse knows Dudin. Okay, nice. Best I am, says. Okay. Oh, you're back, Oski, in the other exercise. Well, bishop g5, f6, rook e5, queen d7, rook e1. We just talked about that, right? That's the line that I think Titan just talked about. Yeah, maybe we can come back to that at some other occasion, but now I think it's time to turn the page. So let's have a look at this game. It's a short game. Not always does white come out on top. Opening disasters can happen for both colors, right? So let's have a look at this game. White is faced with Sicilian Taimanov, perhaps, if d4, or maybe the four knights, possibly. So they didn't want to enter this. They played here b3 instead. Black played knight c6, and there are many ways to play here after bishop b2. Black played a6. I like this system, by the way. From my personal experience, this move is very useful in any system where white would like to play bishop b5. It's a good way um, to limit the opponent a little, because in any opening with b3, I'd say this is the good bishop and this is the not so good bishop. So sometimes in these setups, actually white in the end, they opt for fianchetto instead. You have a similar case in some of the other openings, like this one. Maybe we talked about it in the past. I don't remember. But all my life in this position, I have played religiously here the move a3, so that I'm preventing bishop b4. So it's the same kind of logic. No, if you play just blindly, you develop your pieces like if nothing else is going on. Black could try to achieve some kind of favorable Dutch here, right? I'll just play any move here, like e3. I just want you to see my point here. Black would like to play something like this, like play f5. Yeah, hi Greg, nice to see you. It's great to have
Hey,
you around
can you hear me?
again. We have a lot of new students, by the
Can
way,
you hear
Greg.
me
I
right
hope
now?
that's all right. I let everybody in. I hope that's okay. Well, silence. Uh, yeah, they can't get in. Yeah, I let everybody in today, so there should be no one knocking the door. Any alert here about new user, I have accepted. So there shouldn't be any problem of that kind, I guess. All right. So yeah, back to the chessboard. I hope everybody understands. In this way, black, since they waited with f5, with knight f6, sorry, they can play f5 and knight f6. This happens in different openings, d4 openings mainly. This kind of thinking. So my favorite way to face this kind of opening is by playing a3. So I just kill this idea from the very beginning, and they will have to do something else with their bishop. No, they will have to think about what to do with that bishop. So basically, that's what happened in this. Oh, sorry, I should keep. Dutch is good for black when white chooses not to fianchetto. Yeah, good point, Titan. I agree with you. Not without a reason. White's most popular move in this position. Raise your hand if you're not here. Yeah, nice one. Aha. No, actually, it's not c4. Bishop f4, very interesting move. Yeah, I see. There are many ways to counter the. Exactly, chess Vedant. I mean, judging only by statistics, you can of course tell me that e4 is the best line, or knight c3, or bishop f4. But by pure statistics, g3 is the most popular move here, because as somebody was saying, Titan Chess was saying that fianchetto is good against the Dutch, and I would say that's true. So if you face this other opening like that, if you play this with white, make sure you don't end up in some kind of passive Dutch with white. You can play this in many different ways. Of course, you can also play with e4, and you enter the whole theoretical discussion here. There are some lines with f5 and things like that. But else, you could play the one that I'm playing with a3, and you don't have a problem with that anymore. Uh, yeah, how is it good? I can choose between b6 and g6 in fine. What are we talking about? Talking about something else now. Titan says you're having a conversation with. It's not with me, right? It's probably with somebody else. Um, yeah, here you can also play with g6 if that's what you mean. But you can play like that, and we get some kind of King's Indian instead. But I would still think that white is better here. Usually, this fianchetto is not so powerful. Maybe if I'm able to play e4. Anyway, we should get back on track. This was just a little diversion from our main theme here. So in the game, after b3, black played this move a6. I like this move very much because I don't let them play bishop b5. Let's see what happened in the game. White played c4, going for some kind of Maroczy structure. Black played knight f6. You can see that if e5, black is probably just going to play knight g4. Yeah, that's what happened in the game, by the way. If h3, the knight comes back, and it can go to f5. I had a game like this myself once. I played former world champion. Yeah, you don't do that every day, do you? I played a former world champion who was almost blind at that moment, but still he played very good chess. Trivia: which world champion do you think I'm talking about? Former world champion. Yeah, Smyslov, you're right, heuristic mind. I had a very nice game with Smyslov. Smyslov was very old, and he had a problem with his vision, but his chess was excellent, and I was fortunate to make a draw in that game. This is how I played in my game with Smyslov. and the knight came to f5, something like that. Yeah, this was a long time ago, of course. So anyway, in this game, white played g3 instead, and black hurried to play d6. Makes perfect sense. Computers would approve this. We are fighting against white's space advantage. We want to trade off this pawn. It takes d6, and the question for you guys: would you take the pawn with the bishop? Would you take it with the queen? Or would you do something else? There are no perfect answers, by the way. I'm just curious. Yeah, if any world champion, even if you have some problem with vision, you're probably still a very good chess player. Yeah, Kramnik in blindfold, that's just amazing level, no? They are just very, very strong. Okay, yeah, thanks, Greg. Thanks for uh, joining us a little while. So take with queen and then play bishop d7 and castle, says Titan Chess. Yeah, I approve. I agree with that. Go e5, says Gordon. Yeah, if you play e5, I'm afraid they can play h3, right? I understand your point, but maybe the pawn falls off, right? Queen takes d6. Nobody said the move they played in the game. I would say queen takes d6 is probably the best move. Like you're saying, bishop d7, we could castle long. I have seen this also during the years. I can write that here also. Um, Sometimes long castles. Let's see if I can write this here. Sometimes long castles make sense versus queenside fianchetto openings. So I'm trying to say that if your opponent put their bishop on this diagonal, it's very often a good idea to castle long because the bishop is not hitting your king anymore, right? And if they want to later on, like storm you with the pawns on the queen side, well, the bishop is probably in the way. So I like it. Queen takes d6. Interesting choice. Aha. So if they play bishop d2, we should castle short. Yeah, bravo. Heuristic mind. That's perfect logic, which often happens in many openings. You don't see, by the way, heuristic mind. You don't see long castling in the Catalan, right? I can only think of one line in the Catalan uh, where you do the long castling. You know which line I mean? Like here. Let's see who knows this. Yeah, you're good with openings. So Mickey Mouse says, you know which line, right? You play like that, and you put the bishop here, and you play this. This is the only one I know. It always looked so fun, but I never had the guts to play this line with black. Is it like that? And the queen d7 and castle, something like that? Something like that. Yeah, it's dubious now. You have to be really brave to castle into this diagonal. But okay, this has been played, I think. What if one side fianchettos on both? Yeah, then you have to keep the king in the middle. No, I'm just joking. In that case, you can probably castle either side. Interesting question, by the way. So back to our game. We should probably. I have 3 games I wanted to show today, so we should probably speed up a little. In the game, they took with the bishop instead. I would say this move has a great psychological merit. What is the merit of this move? Well, it tempts white to take that pawn. Nowadays, since we're always looking at engine evaluations, computers are all over the place, we are very used to taking such pawns and then hanging on to the pawns, right? But that's something that computers do very well. But we're not that good at this. So, of course, white took this pawn on g7. I would, on my personal side, I would never play this with white. Good option here for white was just to develop and maybe later try to play d4 and just get a normal game. I would even think white is slightly better here, unless black can like set up a Maroczy bind. Maybe that's possible. In that case, black should be fine. But yeah, usually b2 is poisoned pawn, and now we have a poisoned pawn on g7. Yeah, maybe you could say that. Um, you remember another line maybe where you play you give away the g pawn. You have this line in the how do you play this thing in the Shirov's gambit? Yeah, how do you play that? I think you're familiar with this, right? This one and it's already here. I think d4. It has a good score. Is that right? Is it this move first? I think so. Oh no, I don't know if it's Shirov's gambit, but it's I know he has played it successfully. I think you play it here, and it has a good score in the database and so on. Rook g1 and bishop c4. Is it like that, or is it with bishop c4? Beware, I might be wrong here. Maybe you start with this first. But I think it is. Yeah, no, I think it is. This is also possible first, right? And then you play it. I think you could play like that. But I think somebody said it's direct g4, says Mickey Mouse. Yeah, I think so, Mickey. I think this is the Shiro way of playing this. So yeah, that's something you can look into. I think this has it's one of the best scoring moves in this position. If you don't know what to play against this line, you should definitely look up g4 because from here onwards the game is not a boring Philidor anymore. It will be very uh, yeah, like a very, very active game. So anyway, that's about giving away the g pawn, and that happened in this game because after bishop takes d6, white took this pawn. Poisoned or not, I think the computer was not completely sure about it, but safe to say, I would say it's easier for black to play now. So some of you guys were saying, yeah, there are other lines. Mamedyarov has this g4 in the queen's gambit, for example. Aha. Some of you were already pointing at black's best plan here. Anyone, could you do me a favor? Could you write? Yeah, I saw he had a bad game today. Could you write in the chat black's best plan here with simple words in English? What should black do here? What's next here? Yeah, exactly what Girir says basically. Um, bring out the queen and the bishop and castle long. Of course, if you look at the position from a more strategical perspective, you can see that this semi-open d file is very important. So yeah, that's what Dude in this game. He played bishop d7. Knight c3, you could go to e7, you could go to c7. I think both were very powerful. Yeah, in the game he went for queen c7. Yeah, we will castle, and obviously if white castles short, we can use the semi-open g file like gambit style, right, to attack on that side. So at this point, white is already under some pressure, and if this was a dubious decision, their next move is not really good. So I will ask you something here. Okay, happy to hear that, little chess player. You liked mastering chess strategy. Actually, in the other book, Mastering Opening Strategy, you find this kind of games like pawn down, but activity and so on. Question for all of you. Between knight e4 and queen e2, which one is preferable and why? All right. My question to you is, yeah, Gukesh, great day, no? Number 9, I think, in the world. Fantastic. So between knight e4 and queen e2, which move would you prefer with the white pieces? Okay, Sarthak, happy to hear that. Nice. So queen e2, everybody's saying queen e2. Aha. Yeah, you can also play bishop g2. That's true, of course. Another way to play would be to play queen e2 so that we quickly castle queen side. In this way, if you castle away quickly to the same side as your opponent, you might have some chances of resisting their attack, no? If you're on the same side. So this was one way to play. Castle long. I still like black's position here. I remember the computer was not completely convinced. And black can try to play knight e4, but you could also start with a move like this so that you don't give them this square. If you play knight e4 straight away, white will probably take and put the knight on e4. And later on the bishop will probably come to g2. But if you start with f5 instead, it's probably more powerful. And then you can play knight e4 next turn. So yeah, we don't need to talk too long about this. We could probably just conclude that black has interesting compensation here. You could put the bishop here, maybe try to play e5 and so on. But at least white is fully developed. Please remember relative thinking. Now, this is not so good, but what happened in the game, it's even worse. Something like that. When is the quiz? Yeah, we will have quiz. Yeah, I'll come to that. Sorry, Alice. Yeah, we will have some quizzes. Yeah, don't worry. So they played in the game knight e4. This is a bad mistake, I would say. It's a bad mistake. If you're underdeveloped, don't move the same piece again unless there is a very good reason for doing this. This is like what can I say? It's not to the point. This move. You move the knight again. The king is still in the middle. Yeah, black goes back with the bishop so that we can play f5 with tempo. White played at this point queen e2. All right, I will quiz you now since Alice is wants to have a quiz. Of course, here we are. Now the opening disaster. Let's see how far you can get here. Yeah. Let's see if you can find this. Yeah, basically I'm showing you the last moves of this game. You get 1 minute. Take your time, okay? Take your time, please. Black to play and basically win this game. Not very difficult. Yeah, we're looking at some opening disasters. So, all right, sounds like if you play that, you invite my knight to d5. I will definitely take it. The same goes for you, Gordon. You give me a chance to install the knight on d5. That eases my task a little. Okay, what else? Interesting move by Heuristic Mind, RKDK. Yeah, I can definitely think of that move. What would I play in that case? Um, can I get away with d4 maybe? Oh, so many people want to play in that way. I see. Interesting. Okay. So those of you who said knight b4, interesting option for white maybe to play d4. In this way, I improve my pawn structure and I cover the fork on c2. Right. Tori Chess, congratulations. We have a first winner. Titan Chess, Mickey Mouse, Kiro Tori, Al Morris, Ellery, Awesome Owen, Chess Vedant. Consider yourself smart goldfish. Consider yourself winners because that's a valid move order also. But I think it's slightly more refined, the move order that Tori is using here. So yeah, let's listen to Tori Chess. Please go ahead, Tori. By the way, we should maybe switch to black pieces here. How would you continue here, Tori? So we start with f5. Yeah, this is important. We want to play 94, but right now we can't do it. I mean, at least it's losing a pawn. So we start with f5. I have to go back to c3. Unfortunately, now when black plays 94, the knight will be hit again, right? So yeah, please go ahead, Tori. Now we play 94. Now it's working perfectly because if I play something like Queen D1, I'm losing the game instantly, right, Tori? Yeah, yeah, exactly. By the way, you see here, right? We have the idea of bishop c6. Somebody was saying bishop c6 here, but then I get a chance to play bishop c2. But if you start with knight takes f3, it's more powerful, right? Aha, and it's game over. Exactly. So in the game, white had to play instead knight takes d4. So the bad thing about all this is that suddenly the knight is sort of a good square. Some people were saying, for example, here they were saying e5. If you play that, you're really making me a big favor. You allow me to install a knight on d5. Then it's a different game already. So this is very clever. Knight e4, I have to take, and what a sad place for the knight. Some people wanted to play bishop c6 here. Yeah, perfectly fine. Bishop c6. There is not a big difference. The only difference that I could see is that I could play rook g1 here. Why am I saying that? Well, you will see what happens if I play f3. So if I play this, yeah, you can take on h2, and I would have to play bishop g2. Please notice, Chess Vedant, again, relative thinking. Now, this is bad for white, but sorry. Cheap tactics coming up here. Thanks, Daniel Best. We didn't see that, Chess Vedant, right? We missed the cheap tactic. Yeah, so forget about what I was saying about relative thinking, although it's still valid that you can always compare different kind of difficult situations and you try to choose the least difficult situation. Yeah, so if you play bishop c6, I will play rook g1. Yeah, don't take this pawn. Speaking of poisoned pawns, and I can hang on here for a while in this position. For example, if you play d3 here, trying to make me take and to play 95, this would be a clever tactical idea, right? But your problem here is that I can actually take that pawn instead. Exactly, Tori Chess. I guess that's what made you play instead. The only student here who noticed that we should switch the move order because Tori played here. Oh, e5 you want to play here. Interesting. Yeah, e5 it cannot be bad now to seize the center and so on. But since I have seen the game, I know that it's comparatively worse than what they played in the game. Yeah, if you play like that, Titan, Sarthak, if you play that, yeah, what would I play here? Yeah, what a complete mess now. What a complete mess. I would love to play d3, of course, but then it's embarrassing that you can play bishop b4. So, um, okay, like they say, bad weather, happy face. No, f3, and I'll put my knight on f2. This was definitely not my plan, but I'm still in the game, right? Oh, Gordon, you're saying that also. Yeah, um, I'll say it again. This looks ugly, but what happened in the game is worse. So back to Tori. Yeah, all right, Tori, we should definitely finish off this game. d3 at once. Now there is only one move here. Queen takes. Pretty move now after bishop c6. No matter how I react here, no matter how I react, black's next move here is exactly 95. Clever tactics. Now you can see what's going on here. The rook is attacked at the same time. the pawn on f3 is also attacked. So this is curtains. The game is over here already. White played in the game queen e3, and yeah. Oh, you're optimistic about white survival? Yeah, maybe Titan. Yeah, possible. Yeah. All right. You can take it from here, Tori. We take, and whenever you have a chance, if you have the opponent's king in an exposed place and you're ahead in development, try to open up the game, right, Tori? How could we open up the game? Okay, that cannot be a bad move either. We don't care about pawns like that. That's peanuts in this position. We are playing for an attack. We're going to take on d2. I like your move, Tori. In the game, they played a pawn move instead. Yeah, heuristic mind, you're right. Hollow blade and so on. Of course, f4. That's what black played in the game. As you can see, there is an idea with bishop h4 coming up. White took on e6, and this is over now. Typical miniature, it ends in about 20 moves. White could have resigned already. Yeah, anyone can guess the last moves of the game. Yeah, it's very simple. No, 3 checks in a row. What are we talking about? Queen b6 should also win. Yeah, FG says Sarthak. You're right. All right, Sarthak, you can take it from here. Sarthak, you can show us the conclusion of this game, okay? We take, and we're waiting, Sarthak. Aha, we're waiting. And a pretty last move in this game. If this is not an opening disaster, well, you tell me what's an opening disaster. Exactly. Thanks, Sarthak. That's what happened in this game. Why did this happen? We should now look from White's perspective again. Why does this happen? Well, if we go over this game very briefly, the opening was perfectly fine. This is a very respectable variation with b3. Perhaps not leading to an advantage, but at least it's leading to interesting play. I would say so far everything is in order, but if you play a move like that, bishop takes g7, make sure that you have stockfish like calculation abilities and very strong nerves. All right, rook g8. Else you should play like me, for example. I should play bishop g2 here instead. But okay, this is how they played in the game. Bishop d7. Look how simple is black's play in this game. Just develop your pieces, get them all into the game, and focus on white's king, right? Magnus could take on g7 without losing. Yeah, Magnus can probably, if you're Magnus, okay, you're allowed to take on g7. Everyone else, please don't do it. No, I'm just joking, but it's probably not healthy for anyone to do it. Queen c7. Still, there were chances of saving this game. We were talking about this funny line with queen e2. Yeah, that's a good question. Okay, castles. This is what I was saying. This is probably very dangerous for. Oh, something happened. We lost connection. Oh, I'm very sorry. Yeah, not my fault. Oh, I lagged. Well, but my connection is okay, I think. So I don't know. It could be the chessable server also, perhaps. So this was the last chance for White to save this game. Something like queen e2 and try to castle quickly to the queen side. No, then we will still have chances. On the other hand, in the game they play this move, and this is definitely careless. If you're already behind in development, yeah, try to be practical. Bring out your pieces. Don't be too ambitious. I guess White wanted to grab the bishop pair or something like that, or maybe they saw some tactic like h3 and knight f6, or yeah, I don't know, but um, it definitely backfired here. So, okay, just for fun, just to see if everybody learned their lesson, we will do it again. Okay, we will do it again, but I will give you very, very limited time, and please make sure that you get the moves in the right order. All right, you get only 30 seconds, and you have to show me 6 moves here. Okay, Mickey Mouse, JM Chess, Sarthak, Gordon, Tori. Oh, so many people. Yeah, I lost track already. Okay, nice. The list is very long. It's too long for the window here. So interesting. Mickey, JM Chess, Sarthak, Gordon, Tori, Girir, Chess, Vedant, Daniel West, Hollow, Ellery, Titan Chess, Smart Goldfish, Happy Pawn, Oski Chess, Little Chess Player, Awesome Owen, Santos, Almoris. Yeah, congratulations. Yeah, third place, not bad. Bronze medal. Knight h2 after h3. When is h3? Sorry, guys. Here you can't play h3, right? Because I take. You never get a chance to play h3, do you? Never get a chance, right? In the end. All right, let's see that very quickly. Yeah. By the way, d1 is usually not a good square for the knight in most openings. That's a bad sign. d3, exactly. We avoid this extra possibility. And I don't know if there was any other way out here for white, but I don't think so. Rook g1, you can see that. Yeah, we don't take this pawn. We go this way instead. It's the same story, right? So it's funny also, you see, we're focusing on this part of the board, but in the end, the key detail, this would be perfectly fine for white if it wasn't for the fact that they're hanging the rook on a1. All right. Yeah, 95 no matter what. Time to move on, guys. Time to move on. I wanted to show you a completely different game by a very outstanding player who is playing right now in the World Cup from Ukraine, one of the best players during the last 3-4 decades. Who might that be? That's right, Almoris. Ivanchuk. I wanted to show you this interesting game that he played a few months ago in the Reykjavik Open against Rakotomaharo, if that's the correct pronunciation, from Madagascar, if I'm not mistaken, no? Or France, maybe. Yeah, never mind. Let's check this game. Ivanchuk, fantastic player, so many nice games, and this is one more. This starts with a perfectly normal opening. How could this possibly turn into an opening disaster, you would say? But okay, we will have a look. Knight f6. It started like some kind of accelerated Ragozin, you could say, and white could simply play knight f3 here, moving into the Ragozin, but they prefer to play here a3 instead, which is a little like the Nimzo Rubinstein, right? Or it is maybe the Nimzo Rubinstein already. Yeah, we have reverted into the Rubinstein Nimzo Indian after a3. Bishop takes, pawn takes. This position, you could find it already back in Botvinnik's days, Botvinnik Capablanca, if I'm not mistaken. It must have been something like this, and pawn takes and bishop d3, and yeah, I think you know this game, right, guys? You know that famous game. We won't look at that game now. I'm just telling you that it was something like this. Very, very famous game where later on Botvinnik played e4, e5, and at some point he sacked his bishop on a3. That's a classical game. So this kind of position could have happened in the game. However, in our game, black played the move c6 here. It's a very interesting idea to play c6. Back in my days, nobody would play c6 in the Nimzo Indian. It was an unknown move. Everybody would use that pawn 2 squares, right, to play c5 instead. However, the idea behind c6, I guess you know it, right? The idea with c6 here. Yeah, not so difficult. That's right. We will take back always with the c pawn, and then we will play like in the French. We will trade off the bishop on a6. So Slav-like, exactly, Gordon. You can find it in several Nimzo lines. This is how they play this game. But also if you play, for example, if we go back to the very beginning, I remember that, for example, in the Rubinstein line, you have this line. You play c6 here, for example. This looks strange if you haven't seen it before, but it's actually scoring well. This like a semi-Slav, exactly. And if that you go like that and you put the bishop down, that's another respectable variation. But please notice one thing here: black is castled already. Now back to our game. Let's go over this fairly quickly. So black plays c6. They know their idea. Take back with the c pawn, and then quickly try to trade off the so-called bad bishop. Ivanchuk played at this point a pawn move, all right? Pawn move from white? Anyone? Which pawn move do you think he played? G4. Well, interesting. F4, C5, G3. So many pawn moves. F3, A4. Okay, Sarthak, you got it. Titan, you also got it. He played A4. Yeah, this must be the best pawn move, right? C5, please don't do that so early. No, I'll play B6. That makes no sense. You just help me to carry out my plan. G4, yeah, interesting idea, but perhaps not fully. I would say this move, if you like this kind of move, wait until they castle at least. Then it makes a little more sense, right? If they have a castled king already. And f3 for sure you could play it also. But anyway, Ivan Chuk played at this point a4. I would say at this point, Black, it's not like they lose the game, but it's a very important moment in this game. So, anyone, what would you play with Black here? Black's best move? That's right. Yeah, you already noticed the topic of this session, of course. Of course, we should castle here. We castle, they can put the bishop on a3 if they want to do that. We'll put our rook on e8. This has been played, by the way. This has been played. It's all theoretical. Something like this, we developed the knight to f3 this time because once Black tries to carry out their idea, yeah, theory shows that you can play this move. You have the same idea in the French also, bishop e5. You're forcing their bishop to d7 so that you can go back to d3, and then they cannot trade it anymore, or something like that. And white should be slightly better. I think Ivan Chuk was heading for this. Aha. Look what happened in the game. Black played queen c7, and just to see if you're all awake, you'll have to tell me white's next move here. Of course, Mexico Real, Smart Goldfish, JM Chess, Ellery, Happy Pawn, Girir, Hollow Blade, Santos, Almoris, Wyatt Wong, Heuristic Mind, Gordon, Ryan the Great, Mickey Mouse, Titan Chess, Jack, Kiro Tori, Tori Chess, Daniel Best, Awesome Sarthak, Oski, Awesome Owen, and Vasily Ivanchuk, of course. That's right. Please go ahead. Awesome Owen, you're somewhere here in the middle. Please go ahead. Very simple method, known ever since the 18th century, I think. Paul Morphy and others would use this idea rather often. Aha, that's right, bishop a3. After this, it's very difficult for Black to get a normal game. You will say, well, hey, this is very simple. But I think you will still like this game. You will see how efficiently Ivanchuk uses this situation to his advantage. So difficult for Black already to play this position. They played in the game b6. They stick to their idea with bishop a6. I looked at some other ideas here, d takes c4 and c5. This is one of the things that the computer is saying. Interesting. Now you can see the idea that if they take, there are some difficulties on the c file. You can play b6. You don't win a piece because they have bishop b5, but still you get some compensation in these positions. However, there is a problem with this. So anyone, what do you think White should play here? Could you think of a way in which White could get the big advantage? You get for this mission 45 seconds, okay? White to play and get the big advantage. Yeah, if you play d5, I'm afraid that your bishop on a3 is not so happy anymore. Bishop b5, interesting. Yeah, that's probably a good move, no? Maybe I could go 97 there. Okay, Smart Goldfish, you have found what Stockfish found also. Aha, nice. Oh, you take with the bishop anyway, Alice. I see. You could probably do that. John Sam and Mexico Real, you played c6 there. Interesting. Rook d8 I will play against you. Okay, so many moves, it will be hard to cover all of them, but we have at least 3 players here, Smart Goldfish, Tori, and Ryan the Greatest. You found the supposed best solution here. I'm relying blindly on Stockfish in this difficult position. So please go ahead, Smart Goldfish. How do you continue here? How do you take on c5? With a pawn, so that after castles, we have this very nice game-changing move, queen d6. Very pretty because it's actually Black who is slightly ahead in development, so we're happy to trade queens, and if we're able to fix our pawn structure, that would be great. So yeah, nice move, queen d6. You told me many other moves here. Bishop e5, for example, very interesting. I think I go knight e7, and if you play bishop takes, I play b6, and I try to take this pawn. I think this is better than the game. Bishop e4, I can maybe go a5, right? Yeah. What else could you play here? Yeah, d5. Some people are saying, but in that case, the bishop is not very happy on a3. Perhaps Black could just castle here, and if somebody has a development advantage here, it's probably Black, right? I think Black should be okay in this position. The bishop is, I can play b6 and the bishop is not so happy anymore. So nice. c5, we should probably counter it with d takes e5. Ugly move, but very strong because we have queen d6 coming up. Aha. All right. Yeah, bishop takes e5. We talked about this, right? b6 a little complex. So this was an interesting idea for black, but still they would be suffering. Back to the game. Let's see what happened in the game. After bishop a3, black played b6. They want to play bishop a6. And at the same time, you can see the point of this move, cd5, if I'm not mistaken, you want to avoid c5 also. Because I think black already noticed what happened here. They are trying to reach a position like this, and they would still have chances to save their skin here, but not against Ivanchuk, of course. He quickly takes on d5. And what do you think, guys? Should we take with e or should we take with c? Or knight, with the knight. Yeah, taking with the knight is very ugly now because we give them the center on top of everything else. Yeah, e and c. Maybe Titan, yeah, you could play like that and you can bring the knight to e7. It still looks very ugly. I think maybe you can go e4 here. Yeah, you can probably not take on c, right? Because it's trapped in that case. So you can go back. Yeah, you're probably right. Everything is relative. We're back on the same page again. Play something like that and you're better off than in the game. I agree. I agree. This is better than the game for sure. Also, you could take with e pawn and then try to play c5. But what do you think white would play here? If white knows that black would like to play c5, what should exactly hollow blade, then white can start and they can play c4 first. Interesting. We're trying to open up the c file against black's queen. So this still would be troublesome for black. I'm not sure they can get to normal position here. Pawn takes, bishop takes c5, rook c1, and you can see they make it to castle, but the position still looks a little shaky. That's a nice bishop pair. So yeah, I'm with Titan chess here. Probably we should take with a pawn instead, with a knight instead. Sorry, on d5. Should take with a knight on d5 and then play knight e7 and hope for the best. Like in soccer, no. Sometimes in soccer, first half it's not so successful, but in second half we can try to turn the tables. But that didn't happen in the game. Black took with the pawn. This was the supposed idea in this opening setup. You take with that pawn and you trade off the bishop. Unfortunately, you cannot do this when you have the king still on e8. If you don't believe what I'm saying, just stay and look at what happened in the game. Rook c1 played in the game, c4 coming up, bishop a6. Black achieved their goal of trading the bad bishop. Bishop takes, knight f3. Ivanchuk plays with, you could say, great simplicity, but very powerful. Black would like to play something like queen c4 here. This would be a nice move, but what would happen in that case? I can just quiz you very quickly just to make sure that you and me are on the same page. You get only, for this mission, only 15 seconds. So you better think fast here, all right? JM Chess, you're the fastest here. Heuristic Mine, Oski, Titan Chess, RKDK, Titan Chess, and so on. Yeah. A lot of people found this. Very obvious variation, but very important because else black would be able to smoke out that they would be able to smoke out the bishop. I mean, so you're right. Yeah, you're right. 95, and if they try to harass the bishop, they lose their queen instead. So yeah, tactical details. Now we're back on the previous page. So that's not possible in the game. They played instead rook c8, and yeah, as simple as that. We're now ready with the king. I'm not following the conversation here. You're talking about something else? Yeah, anyway. You can also see that long castling was not advisable for black. Maybe you should have tried this, by the way. But I think there is a problem here, right? Anyway, what would you play in this case? Yeah, why didn't he castle long then? He could have done that, right? Maybe it was a better choice, relatively speaking. Queen d3 or queen e2, exactly. Open up the c file. Yeah, something like that, and open up the c file. Yeah, this will also be troublesome for black, of course. We can see that if they take, we take back. At some point, we can try to use the long diagonal also. But still, the bishop would at least not be hitting the king. Okay, back to the game. Rook c8 was played in the game. Castles h5, strange move, but it was hard to give black good advice. Now they're trying to bring out the rook in a funny way. Ivan Chuk had different good options here. He chose a very respectable move, simply knight d2. Yeah, that's an easy move to understand. Once we're ahead in development, we like to open up the game. So, of course, c4 is coming next. Black played in the game knight e4, trying to fight against that plan. All right, guys, it's quiz time. I would like to know which is the most powerful way of continuing here. You get only 45 seconds. That's right, Sarthak. In the spirit of French defense, that's what happened here in this game. Aha. Interesting. Oh, you can maybe play like that also. Why didn't he play like that? Um, can I take and play knight c4? Did you consider that? Ellery, Titan, Kirotori, JM Chess, Small Elephant, Ryan, and so on. Okay, we'll talk about that. Time's out. Only Sarthak found what Ivanchuk played in the game. But okay, we had other good moves here also. Please go ahead, Sarthak. What is your opinion here? What should we play? We take, and the next move is really powerful because in this way we activate our last piece also. Ivanchuk simply wants to open up the king side. You can see that also this move is um, not very nice to have that move made, because if you get into this kind of position, you don't really want to play f6 if this square is weak, right? If you see what I mean, like some move, I don't know, queen e4 maybe, or something like that. All right, let's talk about the other moves that you were saying. Some people were saying c4. So my question to you is if I could take on d2. So that if you take like this, I was going to take like that. I mean, to go back like that. I don't know. Does this work, or it's insane to play like this? Yeah, I don't know. Not so clear. Knight x4, d takes e4, and queen c2, says Tori. Yeah, that seems perfectly possible, no? Queen c2. Yeah, what would black play here? Oof. f5 is not exactly what I wanted to play. But I don't know what else to do here in this position. Or should I play queen b7? Maybe queen b7, so yeah, I don't know. It looks ugly in any case. And you can now play f3 if you like. Yeah, this looks okay also. Yeah, probably both are perfectly fine. I wouldn't fancy playing black here. You can also see the knight is in a bad place. Can I get away with knight c7? Maybe try to bring the knight to d5. No, I'm sorry, I'm blundering the pawn. Yeah, I can't do that. So yeah, I agree. Why not c4? Why not c4? That's a solid positional move for sure. You play c4. I think black should try to somehow put the king on f7. Remember, everything is relative. White should be clearly better here, but is it as powerful as the other line? I'm not sure. Maybe you can play queen c2 here, and again it looks ugly for black. Yeah, it looks very ugly for black. Queen b7, and again you have f3. I don't know. I can take maybe, and yeah, I can cover here if you give check, and else I can try to play something like that. Yeah, I think this looks very ugly for black. So maybe you can play even like rook c3 and continue the attack. So probably many ways to continue here. I would say the damage is already done, but what he played in the game is very powerful, because in this way we bring the queen quickly to the attack. The rest of the game is not really interesting. They played queen b7. That was queen c2, pawn takes, rook takes. We're getting ready to play rook f1, knight b8, and the next move was kind of nice. I would say the next move was nice. Ivanchuk provoked a weakness on the king side. All right. Anyone? How can we provoke a weakness on the king side? Why wouldn't Ivanchuk play rook f1? Aha, Almoris, you're right. He noticed here rook g3. Very clever, because now if black plays g6, we can come this way, and you can see already sacrifices in the air. Don't forget that we have the sniper bishop on a3, very powerful piece in this kind of position. difficult to see how black is going to save this position, I think. So yeah, what happened in the game? F5, that's an ugly move. All right, guys, I need to quiz you on the next move because it's a nice move. You can play many different moves, but Sarthak and Gordon, RKDK, you're playing the move that Ivan Chuk played. Interesting, you can push the other pawn also. Yeah, many good options here. Damage is done already. I'm happy so many of you found his move in the game. Little chess player, Kirotori, John Sam, Heuristic Mind, RKDK, Gordon, and so on. You all found the right way here. But there were many ways to play. Yeah, this is like most moves will work here probably. Some people were saying d5, for example. This looks very fancy. I like it, opening up more space for us. If they take like that, you were going to take like this, and you have ideas like that. I understand perfectly. Yeah, this is a very nice move. Ivan Chuk played a different move. All right, please go ahead, Ellery. You can tell us, Ellery. I gave you the white pawn. Feel free to carry out e4. Very nice move. In this way, we open up the e file. If pawn takes e4, I suppose that he was just going to play something like, yeah, I can ask Ellery instead. Yeah, what would you play here, Ellery? Exactly. It's as simple as that. All my pieces are dancing here, you could say. All white's pieces are very active in the game. Rakomo, well, that's a difficult last name to pronounce. Yeah, anyway, he played queen takes e4. And interestingly, Ivan Chuk, no, he didn't play that. He played h4 first. Sorry, h4 was played first. Rook g6, invasion on the 6th rank, queen takes e4. Interestingly, what Ivan Chuk did here, very, very practical, said this endgame is winning for me. He just traded queens and went on to win this endgame. Maybe you find this like a boring way to end the game, but safety first, right? Safety first. You have a completely winning endgame here. Why make it more complex? Something like this was the rest of the game, and white soon went on to win. You can see that we can soon use the other rook also, bring in the rook and so on. So yeah, maybe you didn't need to trade queens, but that was Ivan Chuk's choice in this game to win without risk. Up 2 pawns exactly. So this game can be easily summarized if we go back to the beginning here. Perfectly normal opening c6, nice strategical idea, but please don't forget to castle, especially if you don't have a knight on this diagonal. Queen c7, big mistake. Bishop a3, and after this it's already time to look for some kind of fix, some kind of way which we can fix this position. Here, for example, knight takes d5. It's ugly, but it's better than what happened in the game. cd, now the king is trapped forever basically. Rook c1, very clever move. Ivan Chuk knew that maybe black would like to castle long, so why don't we secure this pawn, and also we get ready to push c4. And yeah, that's how the game, normal position here, completely normal except for the black king, right? And the rest was very simple. So I don't know, if you like, we can go over very quickly the last game, or would you like to stop here? It's up to you guys. Let's do one more. All right, let's do the last one. We'll do it very quickly. One more game. All right, we will pick another game which was played earlier this year in the Reykjavik Open. Former world under 20 champion Arjan Tari from Norway versus Vignes from India. This is another, you could say, anti-Sicilian, or what you would call it. It's this, yeah, I hope we didn't go over this game before, right? I hope this is new for you. This line, you know, of course, what do you call this line? Like Carson's line, maybe? Queen d2, exactly. Somehow they noticed that, the Magnus thing, yeah. Somehow they noticed that if you fianchetto on the queen side, you're better prepared for an attack on the queen side, right? If you see what I mean. Few open Sicilians, if you play the open Sicilian, like a normal open Sicilian like this, it's very difficult to if you face the Nidor, for example, you can't really make you can't make this work, right? It's difficult to make it work. There will be problems if you play something like that. I don't know. It's for some reason it won't work. Yeah, and anyone who knows more about opening theory, you can tell me the problem here. B5 maybe, I don't know, something maybe with pressure on this pawn or something. But it won't work in other openings. But if you play with this precise move order with knight c3, then you can actually make it to, yeah, or g6, exactly. That's probably the best move. You're right, Title. Yeah, that's probably better to play like that and just fight for the center. But here it suddenly works. Yeah, for some reason here it works in the better way. So I think, if I'm not mistaken, the best setup for black here is to play g6 straight away, and you play bishop h6. I think they noticed this. They noticed that this was the best way to play, or something like that. Yeah, sharp variation. But anyway, this didn't happen in the game. Vignes continued in typical Sicilian fashion, and this is already a little risky. All right, this makes perfect sense in many Sicilians to push d5, but please don't forget that this pawn has already moved, right? So we're moving the pawn for the second time, and white's development is very fast. What did white play here? Simply pawn takes, and you can all guess white's next move here, of course. Since we're at the very end, you get only 5 seconds here, so please move quickly. That's right, Gordon, Giri, Tori. Oh, everybody found this move. Okay, I'm happy to hear that. Long castling, of course. The opening has been a success for white. Their king is actually very safe on this side, with a queenside fianchetto helping quite a lot. And already the pawn is hanging, so um, I don't know if this has been played before, but I would already be a little nervous with black in this position. You need only like 1, 2, and 3 moves, and you would have all your pieces developed, right? Black played bishop e6, protecting the pawn. Tari continued in an energetic fashion. You can guess white's next move here. Anyone? What would you play with white? Which is the most active move? Bishop e5. This is just like in the French Taras, I would say. In the French Taras, if you face the ed5 variation, if you face this variation, ed5, where does the bishop go in this variation, guys? One of the few French lines where you're playing bishop e5 with white. Else it's not very common. No, you don't do that in other French lines, I think. Bishop e5. But here it's very good because we already have the IQP coming up next, right? At some point, black will play bishop d6, and then we're happy to have the bishop on this side, and we can castle and use the e-file and things like that. Anyway, back to the game. So yeah, it's already starting to look disastrous. I agree with you, Tori. That's right. Bishop e5. Black at this point played queen a5, trying to get some attacking chances. And I think there is a difference here. You could play knight e2, or you could play knight f3. Anyone, do you have an opinion about which one is best? Would you develop your knight to e2 or to f3? Provide me with some kind of motivation, please. Else it's just 50% chance. Okay. Well, you're right. It's better to put the knight on e2, but there is a very concrete reason. If you put it on f3, black would have like a counter-attacking move here. Aha, because of bishop e4. You're right, happy pawn. This would be slightly annoying for white because suddenly the bishop would be a little exposed. If we put the knight on e2 instead, we are like vaccinated against that because we can always take back. So knight e2 was played in the game. Now, if bishop e4, white has a very powerful move here that I would like all of you to find. So you get 15 seconds for this move. Hint, unusual move, unusual. It's not usual. It's unusual. You're right, Titan chess. You're completely right. Not a typical move that you play in, I would say, in most openings. Not a typical square for this piece. Aha. But you all found it. Yeah, all right, Titan chess. Please go ahead. You found the key move here. This move is actually very topical in this kind of variation. Yeah, I didn't know that before I started looking at this game. But this is very nice. This move is very nice. Targeting the pawn, and if I castle, Titan chess in 1 second unfolds the nice move knight takes d5. This is a true opening disaster, as you can see. Black seemingly made normal moves, but they can already resign in this position. So please have respect for this setup with fianchetto. It's not bad at all. You can see that Titan chess has already managed to mate me here. Aha, so very careful with this setup. Aha, exactly. So what happened in the game? They played after knight e2, rook c8 instead. Black probably knew that. He smelled this move, bishop, queen g5 coming up next. So Tari played here king b1, nice prophylactic move. And after a6, this was a crucial mistake because now we lose even more time in our development. But I would say the danger was already done. Somehow, the damage, was done already. Somehow we lost time with this move. So it's your time, guys. Your turn here. Let's see. I'll ask you for the next 2 moves at least here. Okay, we are a little above time, so let's do this very quickly. Okay, RKDK, awesome, Sarthak, Ryan, the greatest, happy pawn, Gordon, as simple as that. Oh, some of you want to take on d5. Interesting. Can you get away with that? Queen takes. I see. Yeah, Queen takes d5, I guess. So please go ahead, RKDK. Show us what should White play here. Time is money. Here we are trying to exploit our lead in development. Bishop takes c6. Um, Black can take back in two different ways. If I take with a pawn, you could probably play in the same way anyway, right? Yeah, exactly. 94. Try to bring in the rook and attack black in the center. In the game, they took with the rook instead and knight d4. Yeah, they didn't play knight takes d5 because I can take back on d5. I think that's the reason why this doesn't work really. So yeah, time is money definitely, especially when you have a development advantage. So knight d4 was played. Yeah, he lost more time. No, he lost more time. Yeah, it seems it was better to take with the pawn perhaps. But he must have said that, hey, why should I take with the pawn if I put my rook on c8 or something like that? Yeah, in any case, difficult for black. All right, let's speed up a little. 94, rook c8, and it's funny. Only at this point, Tari plays a move that nobody would have suspected. So, if I'm telling you that White didn't play rook he1 here, what do you think they played? Knight takes e6. That's a little too soon, don't you think? Oh, nobody finds his move here. Yeah, I mean, after all, he was former under 20 world champion, so it's not an easy move. Aha. Rookie one is perfectly possible, but you would have to do some calculation here. I think I know why he didn't play it. If you play it here, I can play bishop e4. You would have to calculate this line. Take, take, and if you sit with this position at the board, you would already be slightly nervous because the knight is hanging and the rook is hanging. But now, if you have stockfish like calculating capacity, you can find your way to win this game. Anyone? Ah, you're right. Heuristic mind. Yeah. Okay. Let's see what heuristic mind has to show here. Nice, nice. You found this. Queen e2, and after bishop takes. Exactly. I cannot go down, right? Heuristic. I'm getting mated. Aha. If I go up instead, every friend to the party, the last friend to join the party, who is that? Exactly, the rook. And I'm getting mated on that side instead. Aha. But is this easy to see in the game? What do you think? Yeah, exactly. Happy pawn, the rook lift. What do you think, heuristic mind? Is this easy to see in the game? I don't think so. We are moving the pieces also. So Tari didn't spend time on for me. Yes, okay, good for you then. Tari didn't play this. He played another move. I like his move because he found another way to put pressure on the e file. Aha. What did he play? What do you think? Anyone? Yeah, Titan chess. I understand your move. Queen e3 makes perfect sense. I guess he didn't like bishop c5, right? So if you want to use the queen, you want to attack the bishop on e6 without getting pinned. What would you play? You're right, smart goldfish. That's a very smart goldfish. Queen e1. Now we're ready to take on e6, and if we can take back with the queen, it's a different effect, of course, because then we're hitting the rook on c8 as well. So that's what he played. Very clever move. This is definitely difficult for black. They played in the game queen b6. Tari cast in a pawn here. Knight takes, pawn takes, knight takes, knight takes, and rook takes. At this point, you can see white is a pawn up, better developed, better pawn structure. But black did what we should all do when we're in trouble. They try to complicate the game here. Rook takes c2. Interesting, no? Interesting move. Remember, when you're in trouble, make things a little more complex. If king takes, they were going to play queen c6. But Tari, just like Ivan Chuk, he actually went for a better endgame here. He was very practical at this point. After rook c2, he played queen e4. Oh, this was the move by heuristic mind. You were saying rook e5. Yeah, you can play rook e5 also. I guess in that case, black would play rook c6. And you're still much better, of course. Don't get me wrong. But I like his approach here. Very practical. He played queen e4 so that he can quickly bring in the other rook as well. Queen c6 and every friend to the party, rook d1. You can see that now we're threatening to give check and to take on c2. Black played something like this. Strange tactics coming up here. You can see that if I protect my queen, there is bishop f6. But no problem, no problem. We have that good endgame coming up, right? We have the good endgame. Not every game like this can end with mate or things like that. He just played rook d4. Very practical, very practical. Anyone? What do you think white should play here? I will quiz you very quickly. We'll do some endgame stuff today also. Oh, sorry. Like that. Let's see if I can get this right. Okay, you get only 35 seconds. getting all the friends so they can jump to king at the party. Interesting way to put it, Oski Chess. You're right, Gordon, Mickey Mouse. That's exactly what Tari played. Just like Ivan Chuk, sometimes the consequence of a development lead can be a good end game. Okay, many people got this right. Kiri Tori, Gordon, Mickey Mouse, Almoris, Titan Chess, Heuristic Mind, Giri, Santos, Jack, John Sam, and some more people. Yeah, very simple. No, very simple. Oh, we did some overtime today, but yeah, no problem. So please go ahead, Gordon. Let us know how can I click on Gordon, by the way? Yeah, I don't. Sorry, I have to pick someone else. It's so big, the list here. So little chess player, please go ahead. Show us what should the white play here. Yeah, I'm sorry, Gordon. It doesn't appear anymore. There are so many people. I don't know. Something happened with the interface here. But we knew that you were first, right, Gordon? You were the first student to find this solution. Aha. This is exactly what happened in the game. Aha, you're right. Rook takes, and white went on to win this endgame. You can see that the king is already getting close. White is much better in this endgame. I don't know. They played rook f8, and he just played f3, and he went on to win. Disastrous endgame, and you can't go wrong here, basically. So yeah, that's what happened in this game. Very quickly, what happened here? White played this Magnus variation with a fianchetto on b2. Black's setup dubious because you lose time, and also the king becomes a little exposed. And I like the very fast development by Tari in this game. This was the only slow move you could say, but it was not in vain. In this way, we prevent, for example, bishop a3, trading off our bishop. Please remember this move, queen g5. Nice idea to keep in mind. And this was a nice move. If you can, like heuristic mind, if you can calculate all this, congratulations. Else, play like the Grandmaster Queen e1, preparing to take, and we are already punishing our opponent for their bad opening. All right, guys, I think that's it for today. So thanks a lot. Sorry that it went over a little. Okay, see you in a week. Thanks. Bye-bye. Thanks to Chessable. Thanks to Chess Dojo. Thanks to Greg Shahadi. Thanks to all of you. See you next time.